activity. So you have two choices. You can either use a real apple or any type of fruit, or you can use some paper to create your apple. Now, if you don't have 3 different colored pieces of paper, that's okay. You can use a piece of white paper and you can color your paper with pencil crayon or with markers when you're all done. Okay, friends, so you're here because you're going to do your apple activity now. So if you want to do your apple activity using paper, then I'm going to show you how to do that first. And if you want to use a real fruit or a real apple, I'll show you that afterwards. So maybe you want to watch the whole video first and decide which one you want to do, which one you like better, and then you can pick which one you want to do. So, to start the paper activity, you're going to get your first piece of paper. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be making circles, because an apple is kind of a circular shape. It's a sphere. Now, I am not the best at drawing circles all by myself, especially 3 of them that look exactly the same. So I have a little trick for you, but don't tell anybody. If you have a bowl in your house, or maybe a cup that's big, you can use this as a stencil to trace around on your paper, and you'll have 3 identical circles. So I want you to try this by yourself, and if you're having a little bit of trouble, mom, dad, or an older brother or an older sister, they are great helpers, especially right now. So I'm going to show you the first one, and then I'm going to magically have 3 of them, because you don't need to see me do this 3 different times, okay? So I'll show you how to do the first one. You want to do this laying down on your table like this, but I'm going to show you this way just so that you understand how to do it. So you need to make sure your paper doesn't move and your bowl doesn't move, or you're going to have a wonky circle, which means it's not going to be a perfect circle. So you're going to push down. I'm pushing down a little bit because it'll secure my paper, and it'll make sure that when I'm drawing my line around it, I don't have a wobbly line. Where's my pencil? I don't know where my pencil is, so I'm going to use a marker. But I would think that we should definitely use a pencil to start so that we're not wasting lots of paper. Okay? So I start at the top, and I'm going around my bowl. And I'm going as far as I can. Oh, I can't go anymore. But I'm not done my circle. I'm still pushing down so it's not moving. And now I can go on the other side. What do you think? I think that's a pretty good circle. Okay? So I'm going to do this 2 more times so that I have 3 circles on my paper. And I'll see you in 1 second. Okay, friends, I have my 3 circles done. So they're all the exact same size because I used the exact same size bowl. Now, if I tried to draw these by myself to make them all the exact same size, I don't know if it would turn out this way. So please make sure that you're using a circular object to trace onto your paper. Okay, so this is step 1. Step 2, are you ready for it? I have to cut out all of my circles. Now, if you're having trouble with your scissors, sometimes when I'm cutting, my arm stays up and I can't get it to stay down. So, if you have a stuffed animal, you can tuck him under your arm, and this will help you control your scissors. So you want to try to keep this tucked right under your arm while you're cutting. Okay, and while I cut, I'm going just along the line because, again, I need my circles to be the exact same. If you're having trouble cutting out your circles, you can ask somebody for help, but it's always good to try first. You do have 3 circles to cut out, though, so maybe this could be some teamwork. You could have your brother or your sister help you, or mom and dad could cut one while you're cutting one, or maybe you want to challenge yourself and cut all 3. Okay? So I'll be right back with all 3 of my circles cut. Okay, friends, so now I have my 3 circles, and they're pretty much the exact same size. Nothing's perfect, so I think my yellow one was a little bit bigger, but that's okay. They're all very, very close. We're going to use these to create a fraction apple. I call it an apple because I like apples, and I'm always hungry. You guys already know that. So, my first circle is going to be my whole. My next circle is going to be my half. And my third circle is going to be my quarter. You guessed it. Now, you're saying, Miss Hamilton, these are all wholes. But we know how to make things into fractions now. And I'm going to show you a cool way that we can use folding to get our halves and our quarters. Now, first things first. My whole. Do I need to do anything to this object? No, it's already a whole. When we're writing a whole, we write 1 because it's one whole. It's a whole number. So, on whatever piece of paper you decide, maybe you want to do your pink or your yellow as your whole, you're going to write the number 1. And we're going to write the word whole. W H O L E. This is my whole object. Now, for my half, this is still a whole. I could try to draw a line right down the middle, but sometimes that's a little tricky. You can actually fold your circle in half. So you want to fold it so that your 2 sides are meeting. And before you push down here, you want to make sure that it meets all along. It kind of looks like a taco, doesn't it? You want to fold it into a taco, let's say that. And again, this can be a little bit tricky. So asking for help would be a great idea if you're having a hard time getting it in half. Because remember, a half is 2 equal parts. So we need to make sure that our line is right down the middle. Now I have my cutting line. This is where I'm going to cut, okay? So you're going to take your scissors, and if you want to draw a black line to help you to see your line, you can do that as well. So I'll show you what I mean. So I just drew a black line right down the center of that fold so that I can see where I'm going to be cutting. Okay, so I'm going to cut. And now I have 2 halves, or 2 equal parts of a whole. And now I only need one of these. The other one you can eat. I'm just kidding, don't eat it, it's paper. So, this is your half. For a whole, I wrote the number 1. Who remembers the numbers, so 2 numbers, that I used to write 1 half? 1/2. Great job. So I'm going to write the number 1 over 2. And this is my half. So I'm going to write the word half. So right now I should have my whole and my half. And if you put this over top, you have half of your circle. Now, one more that we're going to do is our quarter. Now, in the other video, I told you that a quarter is half of a half. So, when we're folding our paper, we're going to fold it in half, just like we did for our half, our taco, our yellow one. And instead of folding it again, I'm going to make it a half. So I'm going to cut it in half. So now I have 2 halves, but I already have a half. I want to make a quarter. So in order to make a quarter, I need to fold this in half again. Half of my half. And I need to do it twice or else these are not equal parts, just to show you. Now, how many parts do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. And to check if they're equal, you can put them all beside each other. And you can see that they're all the same size. Pretty cool. This one reminds me of a watermelon. I think I'm super hungry. I think it's almost time for lunch for Miss Hamilton. Now, I'm going to take one of my quarters. So you're going to have 4 pieces, but you just need one of them. 1 quarter. How do I write 1 quarter? Good job. 1/4. So, 1/4. And you're going to write the word, I hope I have enough space, quarter. And now you have your quarter piece. To finish it all up, you're going to put them together. So the first thing that you have is your whole. Then you have your half. And then you have your quarter. Now, this will help you if you're ever wondering, what's bigger, a quarter or a half? Or how do I make a half? Or how do I make a quarter? This is going to help you understand and learn the names of your fractions and how we write our fractions. So, to keep them all together, if you have a stapler, you could staple it. You can use a paper clip or a bobby pin. If you don't know what a bobby pin is, just a clip. Maybe mommy has one or daddy, maybe daddy has one. And you can use a bobby pin to secure them together. Or, last but not least, we love to have options in grade 1. You can also use a little piece of tape. You just want to make sure that they're all lined up to one another. And now you have, whoopsies. Again, nobody's perfect. Let's add another little piece of tape under there. So my half fell out. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put a little piece of tape connecting my half and my quarter. And that way they won't come apart again. And if they do, I can just add more tape. Okay, but you don't want to tape them all together. You want to be able to see that this is half of your whole and that this is a quarter of your whole. Okay, friends, I hope you enjoyed this activity. It was actually really, really fun to make, and I hope it's helpful for you when you're thinking and learning about fractions. Okay, friends, if you want to do the apple activity, so the same thing but using a real fruit, you can do that. Just make sure that you're going to eat it or that somebody in your family is going to eat this fruit afterwards because we don't want to be wasting food. So if you want to see the apple activity, keep on watching.